Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Maison African Motives. Still working on O-level mathematics. Remember previously we managed to work on the paper 2 for this question paper, which was written in June 2018. So we just want to see the paper 1 now, which is one that we didn't manage to work on. So let us just quickly rush through the questions that we are given. So if you're new guys, you can consider being part of the family by subscribing so that you won't miss any of the classes, and also to share our classes to your friends and your colleagues. So we shall just quickly rush through this so that we see how you're supposed to answer or attempt these questions. You're given on number 1A to express, that is 3,598, which is 3,508. That is the number that you are given. So on 1A, item 1, we are given to express this number as a number in standard form. So as a number in standard form, remember this number is supposed to be between 1 and 10. So we have to move our commas 1, 2, 3 until at 3,5 it's now between 1 and 10, which is 598 times 10 to the power of the comma that we move, which is 3. So take note, it's a significant, this number, it's starting with a whole number, so it's going to be positive. But if it was 0,035 whatever, it was going to be a negative because it starts with a 0 there. So I think this part, guys, as we know from your standard form, I think we managed to explain this as a separate topic. Anyways, let's see the other part, which is on item 2, correct to two significant figures. So 2SF, which means you're talking of whole numbers in this case. So 3,598, we've got 1, 2. These are the first two whole numbers. So if you can cross check, 9 is going to change this 5 into 6. So these are now zeros. All right, so you have to write these zeros because this is a whole number, so you have to write. If you don't, then it's now wrong. 36, it will be wrong. Okay, so take note about that. Find the approximate value. So if you are given to calculate or to find an approximate value, you have to round off the number that you are given to a degree of accuracy that you can actually round off properly. So in this case, it's the square root of 3,598. So we have to cross check for a whole number that we can round off to the nearest whole number, and in this case we can focus with this number so that we can, if we are to round off, this one can give us 3,600, of which we can obtain this square root of 3,600. We know that square root of a number is plus or minus, which is square root of 36, that is 6, square root of 100, which is 10. So it's going to give us plus or minus 6. So an approximation, you approximate to a number that you can determine its square root. It's not like you're rounding off to the nearest whole number, or you round off, you approximate to a number that you can find its square root. That is the concept. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say in this case, because it's not like an exact question, this one. No, it's not like that. On 2.A, item 1, we're given to subtract, find the value of. So remember, when you're subtracting, that the commas should be in line. So when you subtract, it's supposed to be minus 2 comma in line. This is 145. So definitely we need a placeholder there so that we can subtract. That's 1 here, which is going to give us 1, which is 5. 10 minus 5, which is 5. Okay, 3 minus 5, which is impossible. So if we add 1, so it's going to be 13. This one, and here we give 1, which is going to give us 2. So it's 13 minus 5, and 13 minus 5, which is going to give us something like 8. All right, we move on here. It's 10. 0 minus 2, which is impossible. So let's give a 1 here, which is going to be 10. And this is going to be 3. So remember, 10 minus 2 now, which is going to be 8. And the comma in line, you must be like that. Okay, 7 minus 3, which is 4. So make sure that the commas, they are in line until the final answer. That is what you have. Okay, so anyways, that's it on item A. Then on item 2 of A is to multiply 4,3 to by 0.11. So remember, you're multiplying, so at least you can consider each of decimal place the placeholders, because this is like you ignore the commas, so it's like you are multiplying. It's like you are multiplying 432. You just ignore that there is a comma here. All right, so it's 432, and this will be 11. Just multiply these normal numbers that you are used. So 0 is a placeholder. That's 1 times 2, 1 times 3, which is 3, and this is 4. You are done with 1. You move on to this 1 times 2, which is 2, times 3, which is 3, times 4, which is 4. Definitely I have to add, which is 2, 5, 7, 4. All right, I think this is it, guys. I don't know. 4752. 4752. So this is what you're obtaining after multiplying. But how many decimal places do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So it's going to be comma 0 like that, because you're supposed to have 4 digits after the comma. All right, then you write your answers where you're supposed to write them. So in this case, I'm just calculating. I'm not focusing about each of answers here. All right. On item B, we are asked to simplify this, giving the answer as a mixed number. So remember, when you are working with fractions, yes, we can convert these to improper fractions, you add them and so forth, it's fine. But take note, these are whole numbers, so I can add 1 and 2. 1 plus 2, which is going to give us 3, because these are whole numbers. So which means you are left to add the fractions, which is 7 over 8 and 1 over 3. So you're going to add 7 over 8 plus 1 over 3 aside. So whatever that you're going to obtain here, you add to these 3. So it's just like a plus. So you're going to add here. So let's simplify this aside without these 3, because this is 3 that you obtained from the whole numbers. So you're going to add these fractions. So what is the LCM or the LCD? So of 8 and 3, which is 24. Yeah, that's 8, 24. So 24 divided by 8, which is going to give us 3, then 3 times. Remember, you divide 24 divided by 8, which is 3, times 7, which is 21 plus. You move on, 24 divided by 3, which is 8. Whatever that you get, you multiply by 1. So it's going to be 8. So 8 times 1, which is 8. Then if you add, you're going to have 29 over 24. So take note, this is what you're obtaining after adding, but we can write this as an mixed fraction, which is 25 into 29. That is 1. Remainder, that's 29 minus 24, which is 5 over 24. So this is what we are obtaining after adding these two fractions. But remember, there was a whole number which was outside that we obtained, that we said we are going to add that whole number to whatever that we are going to get as our answer. So therefore our answer is going to be 3 plus this fraction that we obtained, which is 1 and 5 over 24. So you are simply adding 3 and 1, which are the whole numbers, which is going to give us 4 and 5 over 24. So that's it. You can work with these fractions separately, whole numbers separately, like I said, or you can convert them to improper fractions, add, but your answer must be the same as this one. So you can try another method, guys, and see. So like I'm now presenting other method, because I explained the other method in some videos. So now I'm working on other methods so that you can know both of them. Okay, express express the time, which is 0025 in 12-hour notation. So we know this is 24-hour notation, which is 25 past 12 in the morning. So this is in the morning, and this can be 12.25 a.m. So take note, time you represent with 1 dot here, not like this. This is wrong. All right, this is what you get on your phone or your watch, whatever that you're using. But when you write time, just 1 dot like that. That is how you're supposed to write your time. All right. Then we are given in this case that there is a goods train which left Johannesburg at 20:30 on Wednesday and arrived in Bedbridge after traveling 27 hours 45 minutes, which means you're talking of a day and so minutes there. State the day on which the train arrived in Bedbridge. Okay, this is going to be difficult for us to know the day that this train arrived in Bedbridge. This we do not know. Like, yes, we know that this is like a day and some minutes, but we don't know, like, is it going to be direct on Thursday or it is going to be on the following day, which will be on Friday. So what we are going to do is to leave this part aside for now. Let's attempt this question, which now needs us to find the time at which the train arrived at Bedbridge. Then at least we can be able to know that at Bedbridge, by the time that we are given there, what was the day that the train arrived there, so we can know the difference when we know the time it had to arrive at Bedbridge. So I think that can be easier for us to work with item 2. So item 1, like I said, yes, you can do it, but it is going to complicate a lot of things here. So on item 2, this is what happened. Remember, the train left Johannesburg at 20:30, and it has to cover 27 hours 45 minutes to reach Bedbridge. So let's say in a day, on that Wednesday where it left, because this is our Wednesday here, it is going to cover up to the midnight, which is, you're talking of what, of 12:00. How many hours were taken from 20:30 up to 0:00, which is 12 midnight, where we are now talking of the following day, which is now on Thursday. All right, how many hours were there? Okay, so this is what you're going to happen. You're going to subtract this because it's a day which was taken there. So if we subtract, in fact, there's no need of us opening bracket here. So 0:00 cannot, so you're going to take 1 hour here. So you're going to be left at 23. So if we take 1 hour, which means we've got 60 minutes here. So 60 minus 30, guys, this is direct 30. 23 minus 20, this is direct 3. So which means it took 3 hours 30 minutes in this case to just cover from 20:30 up to 12 in the midnight, which means after covering 3 hours, we are now on Thursday, which is 0:00. So which means we have to remove these 3 hours from the time that was traveled, which is 27 hours 45 minutes, because we have already taken these hours on Wednesday. So let's subtract the number of hours, 27 hours 45 minutes. This is the total time which was traveled, but we are going to subtract 3 hours for Wednesday, for the previous day, which is on Wednesday, which is 3 hours 30 minutes, and this is going to give us 45 minus 30, guys, this is 15, and this is 24. That is going to be 24 hours 15 minutes. So as we can see, we are saying from Thursday the train had to travel again with these remaining hours, which is 24 hours 15 minutes, which means, as you can see, it's a day again which is complete. That one, because 24 hours, it's a day which is complete. So which means on Thursday, if we are to add these 24 hours, we are going to remain now we are now in Friday. Because we have to cover 24 hours, which is a full day from this time, because we started at 12:00 to travel. So we have to cover 24 hours, which means it is going back to 0:00 on Friday. But how many hours are going to remain from these 24 hours 15 minutes that are remaining? So as you can see, 24 minus 24, that's, we are going to remain with what? With 15 minutes. So this is going to be 00:15 on Friday, not on Thursday, the following day. That is the time the train had to reach Bedbridge. So now, as we can see, which means we have the time in 24-hour notation, which means also we know the day where it is reached, or when it arrived in Bedbridge. So which means we have got the answer for this item 1, which we had before, which is on Friday. So it did arrive on Friday, and the time, it's 00:15 hours, or you can write in a 12-hour clock. In fact, we are not given to write the time, like which notation, they just say time. So you can write this as 12:15 a.m. because this is in the morning. All right, So that's what we had, guys, on this part. Then we move on to question 4, which was to evaluate. So we have given the cube root of, so remember for the cube root, guys, I told you you can actually determine the cube root direct from a decimal, because this is the cube root of 0,027, where you can find the cube root of 27, which is 3. Then for you to determine the number of decimal places, you're going to divide how many decimal places? 1, 2, 3. So you've got 3 decimal places. You divide them by the number inside the root, which is 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. So which means your answer must have 1 decimal place after the comma. So your answer is going to be 0,1. Or you can convert this 0,027 to a fraction. Simple like that. Convert it to a fraction. It is going to be 27. Just take the whole number here, which is 27, over how many decimal place? 1, 2, 3. So which means you're going to divide by 1000. But this is the cube root, remember. So you're going to find the cube root of 27, which is 3. The number that is going to multiply itself 3 times to give you 27, over the cube root of 1000, which is 10. So 3 over 10 as a decimal, this is 0,3. 10 into 3, that's 0 into 30. I think this one, guys, you are used to this. All right, so as you can see, you're obtaining the same answer. So you choose, but that's our A. Then our B, we are given 107 over 9 to the exponent of a half. How can we evaluate this, guys? 107 over 9 to the exponent of a half. So remember, to the exponent of half means the square root of, but let's just take a closer look of the number. Let's just maybe convert to an improper fraction by 9, which is 9 by 1, which is 9 plus 7. That's going to give us 16 over 9. Everything to the exponent of what? Of a half. But we know that, like I said, to the exponent of a half means square root of. So definitely we've got square root of 16 over 9. And we know that square root of any number, guys, it's a plus or a minus. So we've got square root of 16, which is 4, the square root of 9, which is 3. 4 times 4, that is 16. 3 times 3, that is 9. So you can write your answer like this, or you can even write it as an improper, as a mixed fraction, I mean, which is 3 into 4, that is 1, remainder 1 over 3. So you can write it like this, or just leave it like that. It's still one and the same. If you are working with the indices, which is exponents, it's not that important to write your answer as a fraction, mixed, or so forth. Okay, here we are given to evaluate 3 to the exponent of 0 times 3 to the exponent of minus 2. So there are so many ways we are multiplying the bases which are the same. So definitely you have to add the exponents, which is 3 to the exponent of 0 plus minus 2. Plus and minus, that's minus. So it's going to give us 3 to the exponent of minus 2, which is 1 over, remember how you remove a negative, is 1 over 3 to the exponent of 2. And 3 to the exponent of 2, which is 3 times 3, that is 9. All right, so as we can see, guys, I think some of these questions, they are very, very direct. Maybe it's just that we need to revise as much questions so that they can be much more direct. On the other part, on 5a, we are given to state the number of lines of symmetry of a regular nonagon. Okay, guys, remember I told you the number of sides represent the number of lines of symmetry and also the order of rotational symmetry, which is, in this case, it's 9 because it's a regular polygon. So it's just going to be 9. All regular polygons, the number of sides is equal to everything that they'll ask you about. On B, the sum of interior angles of a regular polygon is 3,960. Find the number of sides of the polygon. Okay, whether they told us that it's a regular polygon or not, in this case, to find the number of sides, it's not important unless it was to find the angle. But anyways, we have the sum of the interior angles, where we know that the sum of the interior angles are given by the formula n minus 2 times 180. So this is your sum of interior angles, which is equal to, we are given that those angles, they add up to 3,960. So definitely someone has got a role to play to work out this. Okay, how can I do this? Expand brackets, yes, that's if you want, or you can just divide by 180 because this is multiplying the bracket. So let's just remove this by dividing. So guys, all these divisions, I think now you are used to. Please play around this, because you've got cancel this and this, you're left with 396 over 18. So I want you to play around these numbers and see, you're going to obtain 22 in this case. So transpose this is going to give us plus 2. So n is equal to 22 plus 2, which is going to give us 24 in this case. So our polygon has got 24 sides. All right, so guys, division, multiplication, please watch me the videos if you are still having challenges, so that you can learn how to divide, work out. Here I'm just giving you a concept of attempting the question. Simplify, give your answer in base 8. Okay, so already these numbers, they are in base 8. 1 0 4 4 base 8 minus, take note this has got 3 digits, so I'm going to start with this one, 5 7 1 in base 8. Okay, remember the concept when you are subtracting that, like 4 minus 5 is impossible. So what do? I add the base here, because it's impossible for us to subtract, so we're going to add the base. So if we add the base here, it's 8 plus 4, which is 12. You've added the base, then you give 1 here, so this is going to be 8. So it's 12 minus 5 now. So 12 minus 5, that's 7. Okay, we are in base of what? We are in base of 8. Okay, we move on. 4 minus 8, it's impossible again, so we have to add the base. So if we add the base, we are now at 12. We give 1 here, it's now 2. So 12 minus 8, okay, this one is 4. 0 minus 2 is impossible, so you have to add the base again. So if we add the base, we are going to have 8, and we give 1 here, so it's now 8 minus 2, which is 6. 1 minus 1, that's a 0. So that's what you're going to have. 6 4 5 6 4 7 in base of 8. So basically that's what you have. And on B, we are asked to convert this number to base 6. So remember, for you to convert from any base to another base, yeah, it's easier for us to follow base 10 concept. Yes, there are so many ways that you can do, but it's easier for you to just convert this to base 10, where to raise the number in terms of what? In terms of its exponents, which is from 0 there until the last digit, depending with the numbers that you are given. So this is going to be, so we are converting to base 10 first, then we convert to base 6 later on. So it's going to be 1 times 2 to the exponent of 4 plus, this one is going, guys, as we can see, whether you are going to multiply, but this is a 0, guys, to just write it as a 0. Okay, plus we move on to this one, 1 times 2 to the exponent of 2, plus we move on to this one, 1 times 2 to the exponent of 1, plus we move on to this one, which is 1 times 2 to the exponent of 0, which is actually a 1 again. All right, so that's what you have here. So let's simplify, guys. 4 to the exponent of 2, 2 to the exponent of 4, which is 16, times 1, which is 16, plus this one, there's no need for us to write it. 2 to the exponent of 2, which is 4, times 1, which is 4. This one is 2 times 1, which is 2. 2 to the exponent of 0, remember any number to the exponent of 0 is 1, times 1, which is 1. So add everything, you are going to obtain something like 23. This is going to be 22 23. So you've got 23 here, which is in base 10. So remember how you convert now from base 10 to base 6, where you need to divide by the given base. In this case, so you've got 23 divided by 6. Okay, here, so you're going to divide by 6 into 23, which is going to be into, that will be 3 times, because you've got 6 into 20. Yes, it's gonna be 3 times in this case, which is 6 by 3, which is at 18. Okay, then now we can subtract now to find the difference now that is remaining here, because we said this is 3 times, but what is the remainder now if it is 18? So that's what we need. So 23 minus 18, guys, what do we have? We've got something like 5, if I'm not mistaken here. 6 into this one, 3, remainder 5, if I'm not mistaken. Then we move on to 6 into this one, that's a 0 here, remainder 3. So you just have to take your remainders, or you can put it as a column whatever way that you are comfortable with. So remember, you have to take your answer from the bottom going upwards, which is 3, 5 in base of what? In base of 6. So it's going to be 3, 5 in base of 6. So take note, guys, just cross check here on the remainders and so forth. Remember, paper 1, you're not having calculator and this, and so just cross check, guys, and see if you are obtaining the same thing as I obtained here. So let's see on the other question where we are given on number 7, we are given a conditional circle geometry. So always I encourage you that when you are working with circle geometry, just try to fill in the information that you can, because here we are given a circle with the points here on the circumference center O. So this is circle center O. We're given this chord and this chord, they are equal. So remember, it means that these base angles, they are equal, definitely, because WYX, it will be an isosceles triangle. So definitely these base angles, they will be equal. The angles that are opposite to the sides which are equal, they are also equal. All right. What else? We know that this is 42 degrees. This is also 42. They are subtending by the same base, the same chord, which is WX here. WX to the circumference gives you 42. WX to the circumference at Y here gives you the same 42. So this is going to be 42 also, and we say this is 42 also. And also take note, angles in a triangle, so you can find this whole angle here. If we take these two angles from 180, we can find this one. Also here we've got a diameter. Remember, a diameter subtends an angle of 90 degrees at the circumference, which means at the circumference here at W, there is an angle of 90 degrees. This whole angle here at W is 90 degrees, like the whole combined angle here, including this 42. So which means there's an angle here and there's also this 42 added together. They must give us 90 degrees. Okay, anyways, let us see what we have. Calculate WYX, which is WYX, that's WYX. Already we calculated this one. We say this one is 42. And we move on to YWZ, which is YWZ, which is YW, but back to Z, this one. Okay, this one remaining. Remember, we said this angle is 90 degrees. So to find this one, you just need to subtract it from 90. So it's simply 90 degrees minus 42 degrees. And this is going to give us 48. If I'm not mistaken, that's 48 degrees. All right. So this is 48 degrees. Then we move on to WXY. Okay, that is WXY, that is WXY, which is this whole angle here. So remember we said this is 42 from the base angles, and this is also 42. So angles in a triangle, they add up to 180 degrees. We shall subtract those two angles from 180. Angles in a triangle, take note. So circle geometry is not about the theorems about a circle. It's all also about the theorems about the shapes which surround that circle. You're talking of triangles, whatever shape that you be given. Alright, so if you add properly, this is going to be 180 minus 84 degrees. And if you subtract properly, guys, we must obtain 96 here. Okay, 180 minus 84, guys. Remember, subtraction. 1 here, this is going to be 9. 1 here, which is 6. 18 minus 9, which is 9. So you're going to have 96. So that one is just subtraction. On number 8, solve the simultaneous, not simultaneous, just equations. This issue of just seeing two equations, you think they are simultaneous. Okay, these are not simultaneous equations. The first one is a linear equation, which states that a third x minus 1 is equal to 7. So I can actually just transpose this to the other side. It's going to add. So it's going to be 1 over 3x is equal to 7 plus 1, which is 8. Remember, this is paper 1, guys. So cross multiply. Okay, just like that. 1 times 1x, which is x. 3 times 8, which is 24. So guys, paper 1, this paper was supposed to be that question paper that you'll be given multiple choice questions, A, B, and so forth. So some of the questions, if you see a direct answer that you know the answer is just do whatever to try it, because paper one, what is important, it's here on your answer. Yes, the working is there, but paper one, your answer is the one that is important. All right, anyways, what about on B here, where we are given 4 to the exponent of 2n minus 3, which is equal to 8? How can we solve? Definitely, let's just write this in the same base, which is which base can we use between 4 and 8? We can choose base 2. Yeah, let's choose base 2. 4, that's 2 to the exponent of 2 into 2n minus 3, which is 8, that is 2 to the exponent of 3. Remember, the purpose of just doing this is that these two must be the same. Once they are the same, it means also these two, they are the same. So it means 2 into 2n minus 3 definitely will be equal to 3. So you are now back to a normal equation that you are used to, where you have to expand brackets, collect like terms. So 2 times 2, 4n, 2 times minus 3, minus 6, which is equal to 3, and transpose this is going to be a plus. So 4n is equal to 3 plus 6, which is 9. So divide by 4 by 4. Our n is going to be equal to 4 into 9, that is 2. Remainder 1 over 4. So guys, you just cross check. You know, it's been a while I've been working with these maths and so forth. So, but that's the idea that you simply need, and what you're supposed to do. So you have to be very, very careful how you tackle each and every part or each and every stage. It's very, very important, especially where there is a condition, where there is a need for calculations. Well, some of the questions actually they will be direct, but sometimes they won't be like that. Okay, on number 9, we are given that there are 3 sets, which is A, B, and C, and they are such that A is a subset of B and C is a subset of A. In the answer space, draw the Venn diagram to show the relationship between sets A, B, and C. Okay, they are saying that here 9A, we are given that A is a subset of B. Okay, that is A is a subset of B, and also C is a subset of A. Okay, C is a subset of A. Okay, to be a set, it means this set is found in B. So if we say A is a subset of B, it means A is actually found in B, like this, to say this is my B. All right, then A is inside of B. So this is your A and this is your B. That is what it means. So when we say C is a subset of A, it means C is inside of A, which means like this becomes your C and this becomes your A. All right, but we are saying, remember guys, we are saying that this A that we are talking about, it's already a subset of B. Yes, it contains the C. This A, it contains C, is true, but that same A that we're talking about, it's inside B, because we say this is our A. So which means B is going to carry all these 3 sets. So it's going to be like this. Maybe let me put this way. So this will be your set B, which is going to carry set A. Okay, because B carries set A, but we are saying that set A, it also carries another set, because the C is a subset of A, it's inside A. So inside A there's another set which is C. So that is what it's going to look like. So you can put that Venn diagram, yes, it's fine, but just like that it's fine. So that is our A, like that. All right, then we move on to the other question, which is in the diagram there are 3 sets P, Q are intersecting. Use the set notation to describe this shaded region. So which notation can we use? Actually, this here, I want you to see something. This region here that I'm indicating, I don't know, it's going to be clear. This region here, it represents P intersection R. This region alone, it represents P intersection R. Okay, this region here, if we are to take this region here like this that I'm sure, please follow me, follow what I'm doing. This region here, if you are to take this region here, it represents P intersection Q. That is what it represents. So what you can see is that these two regions, they are simply combined together. So this means it's P intersection R union, that is to combine. So you're going to combine the two like that. So that's it, guys. That's your set notation there. All right, then we are given on 10, it is given that y varies directly. So it's like this: y varies directly as the square of, so this is the square, which is x minus 3 to the exponent of 2. That is the square of y varies directly as the square. So now on A, we are given to express y in terms of x and a constant. You are given the constant k. So A is going to be y is equal to, we introduce the constant, which is k. So it's going to be k into x minus 3 to the exponent of 2. Just like that. That is what they asked you to do. Answer the question. They said in terms of a constant k. They didn't say find that constant. No. Just in terms of a constant k. All right. Then on B, we are given that y is 16 when x is equal to 1. Here there is an information which is given just here between these two. There is an information that you are given. Then find y when x. This is another question that you are given that you are supposed to calculate. But what about this information that you are given? What is it going to help you? How are you going to apply this information? That's the information that you're going to use to find the value of k, because you've got everything, the value of y, the value of x. So you simply substitute here and find the value of k. So that's what you need first to find the constant. All right. So it's going to be like this, guys. Y is what? 16. So 16 is equal to x is 1. So it's going to be 1 minus 3 squared. So it's 1 minus 3 squared times k. So 1 minus 3, that's minus 2. Remember, from a directed numbers, that's minus 2. And minus 2 squared, that's minus 2 times minus 2, which is 4. So we are going to have 16 is equal to 4k. So definitely to find the k, I have to divide by 4. So k is equivalent to 4. But this is not what I'm asked to do. The question wants me to find the value of y. So this is just going to help me, because I'm going to substitute this value here in place of k, which is y is equal to 4 into x minus 3 to the exponent of 2. So it's now easier for me to calculate the value of y, because I'm given that at that moment x will be equal to what? To 10. So I can simply substitute in place of x. Now I'm going to put 10 minus 3 to the exponent of 2, just like that. So y is equal to 4 by 10 minus 3, which is actually something like 7, and 7 squared, which is 49. So you'll be left with 4 times 49. So guys, perform your multiplication properly. You're going to obtain 196. So that's what you're going to have in this case, number 10. So let's move on now to question 10. 11. Question 11 now, which is back to those simultaneous equations. So now you're given the simultaneous equations. So sometimes you have to analyze the question. It's not that you were told that whenever you see a fraction, remove a fraction. Whenever you see this, remove this. No, analyze and see, is it applicable or is it an advantage to do that? Okay, like in this case, this is actually decimal. 5,2, 2,2. Yes, it's a decimal, or you're going to use it as a common fraction. Okay, so let me just adjust here. So you can use as a common fraction. I don't know how you're going to present it, but that is a fraction. So a fraction, remember, is a common, or it can be a decimal. So now the question is, how are we going to evaluate it? Because here we've got x and x. Take note, x and x are directly the same. So I can just subtract in this case like this, because here I'm going to affect. Okay, let me write it maybe somewhere here. It's not going to affect it at the page. So I'm just going to subtract these two, which is x plus y is equal to, we say this one is same as 5,5 as a decimal. X minus 2y is equal to 2,5 as a decimal. So let's just subtract so that we can eliminate x. So y minus minus, take note, it's y minus minus, which is now a plus. So it's 1y plus 2y, which is 3y, like that. From your directed numbers, 1y plus 2y, because there's minus minus, so 1 plus 2, which is 3. Then we've got 5,5 minus 2,5. So 5,5 minus 2,5, which is going to give us 3, because this is 0 here. 2 minus 5 minus 2, which is 3, so it's going to be 3. So if we divide by 3 both sides, definitely y is going to give us 1. Now we can actually calculate the value of x, because we've got the value of y in this case. So you can transpose or take any of the equation. X plus y is equal to 5 over 4. So if x plus y is equivalent to 5.5, and we have got the value of y here, which is 1, so it means x is going to be 5.5 minus 1. Take note, this is a whole number and this is a whole number, so you can subtract whole numbers together. 5 minus 1, which is 4, and you'll be left with a half, just like that, because these are whole numbers, guys. There's no need for you to convert to improper fraction. Yes, we can do that, but there's no need there. Just do it direct. Okay, anyways, let's see the other question, which is on question 12. We are given the equation of a straight line. So this is another format, which is ax plus by is equal to c. That's another format, this one. So now they are saying, from this equation, can we find the gradient of a straight line? So this format cannot give us the gradient of a straight line. We have to convert to a format of y is equal to mx plus c. That is the format that can give us the gradient, because we know that m represents what? The gradient. All right. So now we have to change that. So we've got 3x plus 12y is 2y, not 12y, which is equal to 12. All right. So we said we are going to make y to be the subject. That is simple. Make y the subject. Then the value that is going to affect x is your gradient. So let us make y to be the subject. I have to transpose this to the side of the equation. So it's going to be a negative. So 2y is going to be negative 3x plus 12. So how can I find the value of y? Divide by 2 each and every term, by 2 each and every term. So y is equal to minus 3 over 2x, okay, plus 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So as we can see from this value here, our gradient is minus 3 over 2. So therefore, our gradient in this case is negative 3 over 2. So we have to write it where it's supposed to be written. So on this space, you just write the answer. If your gradient is minus 3 over 2, you just write minus 3 over 2, you are done. Or you write it as an improper. And also your fraction is supposed to be over like this. All right, this one, not this one that we use, okay? Then on B, find, and also you can write it even as a improper, as a mixed fraction is fine if you want. Find the coordinates of the point where the straight line crosses the y-axis. Okay, whether we know where it is going to cross the y-axis or we do not know where it is going to cross the y-axis, what we know is that this concept must be very, very useful to you whenever you are working with a Cartesian plane, because this is the y-axis and x. Whether the line is going to be like this or is going to be like this, I don't know what is going to be like. That one doesn't not matter. What we know is that this line, whenever it crosses the y-axis, at that moment x is equal to 0. Maybe next time they are going to ask you where it is going to cross the x-axis. When it crosses the x-axis, at that moment y is equal to 0. So that is what is important. The intercepts that you are having, the x-intercept and the y-intercept, these are called the intercepts. So in the x-intercept, y is equal to 0. In the y-intercept, x is equal to 0. So now they want us to find the coordinates where this point is going to cross the y-axis. So definitely to cross the y-axis, it means it has to pass through the y-axis, where we know that at that moment x is equal to what? X is equal to 0. So how can we find now the value of y at this point? I have to just substitute into this equation, either this equation or the one that I made y to be the subject, that one that we wrote, or you can just substitute into this one. In place of x, we substitute x. So remember the equation was 3x plus 2y is equal to 12. So x at this moment we said is as 0. So 3 times 0, that's as 0. So 2y will be equal to 12 divided by 6 by 2 sorry. So y is going to give us 6. So this is a point. Remember, a point is written in terms of x followed by y, and we said x on this point is a 0 and y is equal to 6. So this is now a point, x followed by what? X followed by y. All right, so it's very, very important that you follow this concept. All right, definitely you have to understand between the intercepts and so forth. All right, so that's what we had, guys, on this question, and we just need to move on to another part of the question. All right, so here on 13 we are asked to simplify. So this, I'm just going to write it down. This is okay. Let me just write just here. So we are given 3x squared everything over x squared minus 5x, that's what you're given, divided to x over x squared minus 25 in this case. All right, so how can we actually simplify this? It's very, very important. All right, so this is it. Remember, you are dividing, you have to introduce multiplication. Yes, it's fine, or you can factorize first. I don't know what is important or what is good for you. Okay, let's just introduce multiplication so that we move on to another stage. We do it at once. So introduce multiplication first. It's going to be x squared over 25 over x. Remember, when you introduce multiplication, you invert the fraction. Okay, you invert what was on the denominator, you write it in the numerator. In the numerator, you write it in the denominator, like that. All right, so this is it, guys. Let us simplify. We can have 3x squared over, let's factorize here, x is common. Yes, we could have cancelled, it's fine, but we can factor out x here, which is common, which means you're going to be left with x squared divided by x, which is x, minus 5x divided by x, which is minus 5. Remember, guys, x is common only here, times what type of an expression is this? It's a difference of two squares, because 25 is same as what? As 5 squared. So this is difference of two squares. We've got x plus 5 square root of x squared, which is x square root of 25, which is 5. So one is going to add, another one will subtract over x. All right, so definitely we have to cancel wherever it's possible. We can cancel x minus 5 here. All right, this is x into x squared. We are going to be left with x, then x and x will cancel, so which means you are left with 3 and x plus 5. Here there's nothing that you're going to be left with, just a 1 and a 1. So it's going to be 3 into x plus 5. Anything over 1, guys, is going to remain as it is. So the answer is just going to be 3 into x plus 5. So that's what we have. And let's see on number 14. We are given that there is a formula for converting the temperature in degrees centigrade, that is a degrees Celsius, the one that we are used to a temperature in degrees, which is in Fahrenheit, where you are given degrees F is given by this formula. So you're given a formula that you're going to use when converting. Now the question is for us to find the value of F when C is equal to 30 degrees. So it's simply a matter of substitution here, guys. All right, into the formula. So on our formula here, it's F is equivalent to, this is 14a. So you're given that F is equivalent to 32 plus 9c over 5. All right, so the temperature that we are given in degrees Celsius here, this is actually degrees Celsius, like this. So you're given 30 degrees, so you have to substitute. In place of C, we substitute 30. So it is going to be like this, 32 plus 9 times C, which is what? Which is 30. So this is going to give us 30 over 5. So guys, this is paper 1. Instead of you multiplying this to be a bigger number, you can just divide here 5 into 30, that is 6. 6 times 9, which is 54. You are working with the smaller values, because this is paper 1. You do not have a calculator. So it's 9 times 6, which is 54, and you add, which is going to be 6 here, 8, which is going to be 86. So this is degrees F, which is Fahrenheit, the one that you are given, because you are given it's a conversion that is taking place. Then make C to be the subject. So guys, we can definitely make C to be the subject here. What can we do first? We can clear fractions. All right, we can clear fractions by multiplying each and every term by what? By 5. So you have to multiply by 5, by 5, by 5 here. So you can have 5f is equal to 32 times 5, which is 10 here, and this is 15 plus 1, which is 160 if you multiply properly. So 9c. So we can transpose, since we want to make c to be the subject, let's take this to the other side of the equation. So it's going to be 5f minus 160, which is equal to 9c. So how can we find c? Definitely divide by 9, or you can divide each and every term, but already c is the subject. So c is equal to 5f minus 160, everything over 9, just like that, everything over 9. So that's how these questions, they might be asked like. So we have got the question on question 15, so the one that you're going to look at. So that's it, guys. Let's see the other question. So on this one, on number 15, we're asked to expand and simplify. Okay, so this one is just a direct question, guys. Minus 3 into x minus 7 plus 5 into 2 minus 4x. So the question is expand and simplify. Okay, so let's expand. Definitely have to multiply by negative 3 here. So negative 3 times x, that's negative 3x. Negative 3 and negative 7, that's negative negative, which is plus 21. All right, 5 times 2, which is 10. 5 times minus 4, which is minus 20x. So collect like terms, guys. You have got 21 and 20. So if you add this, it's going to be 31. So you'll be left with 31 minus 3x minus 20x. So minus 3 minus 20, guys, this is same as 3 plus 20, which is 23. But it's going to carry a negative, which is 23x. All right, that's it. So that's what you just needed. Expand and simplify. Then we are given the length of a side of a regular hexagon is 3,4 centimeters, correct to 1 decimal place, which means this was not the exact value. There was another value, then it rounded off to give us this value. But we are asked to find the least possible perimeter of the regular hexagon. So the least, we have to find the least value of this 3,4. So what is the least value of 3,4? So before you round it off, for you to find the least value, you just subtract 1 from this, which is going to 3,35. If it was the maximum value, it was going to be 3,4. You maintain this 4, but this is going to be 4 like this, so that when you round off, it comes back to 3,4. If you round off 3,35, it gives you 4. So this is the least value and this is the maximum value. So they want you to calculate the perimeter of a regular hexagon, where we know that perimeter, you add all the sides. So you're going to add 3,35 plus 3,35 6 times. So to add this 6 times simply means you're going to multiply by what? By 6. That's it. So you multiply by 6, guys, and this is gonna give you 201. But how many decimal place? It's gonna be 2, and it's gonna be a 0 there because there's a placeholder, and we've got 2 digits, which is going to be 20,1. So that's what you're going to have as your perimeter in centimeters. So you use the least possible. If they say the maximum possible value, you are going to work with this maximum value. All right, so that is what you are given in this case. So we can move on to question 16. Factorize completely. That's x cubed minus x. So you are supposed to factorize. So as you can see, x is just common here, so you can factor out x cubed divided by x, which is x squared minus 1. And don't here, guys, don't leave this like, because this is difference of two squares. One is a perfect square. All right, so you're going to have x into square root of x squared, which is x, square root of 1, which is 1, one bracket, we know it adds, another one will subtract. All right, then we move on to x squared plus 2x plus 1. So this one, guys, take advantage that the coefficient of x squared is 1, and even if you cross check here, it only has 1 mark to do that, because they know that you can just simply put into brackets when the coefficient of x squared is 1. Then I told you, one bracket, other bracket, you put x, then you focus with what? With this constant term, which is 1. What are the factors of 1 that you can add? They will give you 2. So what are the factors of 1? Definitely you've got 1 and 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 1. So we have got x plus 1, x plus 1. So that is what you have. Or you can write this as x plus 1 squared to the exponent of 2. All right. So that's your item 1. That's your item 2 here. So you make sure you write your answers properly. Then on B, hence or otherwise find the highest common factor, which is the HCF. Remember, the highest common factor must be common throughout. It must be common throughout. So your HCF in this case is going to be what is common between these two. We've got x plus 1 here. X plus 1 is common, so you've got x plus 1. That's the only one. This one is no longer common because you have taken it. It's no longer common. So your HCF is going to be this. Okay, what if the question wanted you to calculate the LCM? Let's say the question just wanted us to calculate the LCM also. LCM, you take every term that is present, which means you're talking of what? X. You have to take this x. But when you move on to x plus 1, there is x plus 1, x plus 1. So you take where there are many here, which is x plus 1 into x plus 1. Then definitely you are left with x minus 1 there. So you take everything for LCM. But this one wanted HCF. HCF is common throughout. All right. So I think with this idea, guys, you managed to grasp something or to learn something from that, which you can actually use in your exams, which are ahead of time. So on number 17, you are given the vector p, the vector q. Then you're asked to calculate p minus q in terms of x. Remember, vectors, guys, we just need to subtract as usual. P minus q, our vector p, that's 3 minus 4. So you just have to substitute 3 minus 4 minus vector q. Our q in this case is minus 2x. So like I told you guys when I introduced vectors, I told you that these guys for Zimsec, they use bold letters. You see, they are in bold to represent a vector or a matrix. It's in bold, but you cannot write this in bold. You cannot keep on repeating. You just write these lines on top to represent a vector. All right, so that's how they represent them. They represent in bold, but you just put that line. So we are asked to subtract in terms of x. Let's just subtract, guys. That's it. 3 minus minus 2, that's gonna be plus. Minus and minus, that's a plus. So 3 plus 2, guys, that's gonna give us 5. All right, anyways, minus 4 minus x. So this one cannot change. It will be minus 4 minus x. You don't combine minus 4 minus x, guys. Okay, so we say 3 plus 2 is 5. Then minus 4 minus x cannot be combined. These are like unlike terms. So just like that. All right, find the value of the magnitude of p. This one, this means the magnitude of what? Of vector p. So remember, this is your p, and I told you guys, so this is another item, p item. This one we are done, guys. They just wanted us to write in terms of x, and we did that. So remember that the magnitude, guys, I told you that it represents the square root of x squared plus y squared when given a vector. So it's going to be square root of p, which is 3 squared plus minus 4 squared. So it's going to be 3 squared plus minus 4 squared. So that's the square root of 3 squared, that is 9, plus minus 4 squared, this is 16. So definitely if we add, that's 25, and square root of 25 is 5. This is a vector, it's not plus or minus. We are talking of distance, so it's going to be a positive, not plus or minus, all right? Then they are saying find the value of x if 2p is equal to minus 3q, there is a condition that 2p, guys, work with the conditions that you are given. They are saying that 2p is equal to minus 3q, like that. Find the value of x now. So we just need to substitute in place of p, substitute your vector. So it's 2 into p, which is 3 minus 4. Just like that, substitute, which is equal to minus 3 into q. Your q in this case is minus 2x. So you substitute like that. So you can find x. How? Because we know that if these two, they are equal, you can equate corresponding terms. So 2 times 3, that is 6. 2 times minus 4, remember this 2 is a scalar, so it's going to give us minus 8, which is equal to minus 3 times minus 2, which is 6, minus 3 times x, which is minus 3x. So as you can see, this term and this term, are equal. That is to tell you that what you're doing is correct. So now you equate these terms because you want to calculate x. So you're going to equate these two. Minus 8 will be equal to minus 3x because corresponding elements are equal. So definitely I can calculate my x by dividing by minus 3 both sides. So x is going to be 8 over 3, of which is mixed fraction is going to be 3 into 8, which is something 2 into 6, remainder 2 over 3. So it's going to be 2 and 2/3. That is, if you want to write it as a, but it's good that you write your answers in simplest form. But if you are working with the vectors, it's not that important. The marks of six students who wrote a mathematics test are as follows. So these are the marks. We don't know it was out of what, but these are the marks that which were given. Find the median mark of the 6 students. So remember, guys, median is the middle term that you find when the numbers are arranged in order of size. So you just need to arrange this in order of size. So you can start with 9, okay, followed by 11. We've got 12. All right, we've got 14. We've got 15 and 15, like that. So it's 9, 11, 12, 14. So the median, you can even cancel to say this number and this number, this number and this number. So we are left with these two numbers in the middle, this one. So we're left with 12 and what? 12 and 14. So what is the number that is in between 12 and 14? So definitely the number is what? Is 13. Or you can find this by adding these two numbers, since there are two numbers which are left. So your median is going to be those numbers that are in the middle. You add them, then you divide by 2. So it's 12 plus 14, you divide by 2. So it's going to be 26 over 2. Definitely this will give us 13. So that's our median there. All right. Then a 7th student, there was another student which was, remember there were 6, now there are 7, and got X marks, which means we do not know the mark that this 7th student which was added. What was the mark of the student? We do not know this, but we are given that the mean for the 7 students was now 13. Then find X, the mark of the 17th student that was added, of the 7th student which was added. That is the 7th student there. So how can we determine this mark for this student which was later on added the marks? Remember, this is mean, where we know that mean is equal to sum of terms over number of terms, which is the one that gave us mean, the sum of terms over the number of terms. So definitely we are going to add all these terms together. Okay, we have to add all these terms together. Then if we add these terms, they're going to give us 76. So out of these 6 learners that we are talking about, they give us a total of 76 if we add them properly. But we are saying there's another learner which was added and obtained X marks. So we are going to add that X, which means we are now talking of a total of our main learners of 7 learners, which is the sum of those 7 learners over the number of learners. Our main learners are now there, they are 7. they must give us the new mean, which is the mean of what? Of 13. So it's like you have formulated an equation from the formula of mean, where we said mean is sum of terms over number of terms, because you've got that mean. So we have formulated an equation, so you can solve this. Cross multiply 1 times 76 is 76 plus 1 times x, which is equal to 7 times 18, which is going to give us 91. So make sure that you multiply properly, obtaining 91. Then we transpose here, so x is going to be 91 definitely minus 76, which is going to give us 15. So that's our x there. So make sure that you subtract properly, guys. The issue of adding, subtracting, multiplying, yeah, make sure you maximize that one. You know whatever that you are doing there, you know the best of what you're doing. Okay, anyways, on question number 9, we are given there are numbers which are chosen at random. Find the probability that either of the number is either a negative or a prime number. So remember, when you are given either or, you add. So you are going to add negative to prime, and also and the prime numbers. So prime numbers, remember, these are the ones which are exactly divisible by 1 and itself. And we've got negative numbers, so we are going to take this as a negative number. So we've got 1, 2, 3, this one is a prime number, 4, this one is a prime number, 5, this one is a prime number. So we have got 5 numbers amongst negative and prime numbers. They are all 5. So which means therefore our probability is the required outcome, which is 5 over the possible outcomes. How many numbers are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 5 over 10, which is going to give us a half. Or you can leave it like that. Probability, you can even leave it like that. All right. Now they are saying that there are 2 numbers which are chosen at random from the set P, which is this set, one after the other without replacement, which means we couldn't replace. Find the probability that 1 is a perfect square. So let's start with the first one. The first one is a perfect square. So how many perfect squares do we have? Perfect squares, we are referring to those numbers that when you determine their square roots, they must give you a whole number, which means you're talking of 0, 1, and 9. 0 is a perfect square, but square root of 0 is what? It's 1. So it's 0. So you've got 1, 2, 3. These are the perfect squares, 0, 1, and 9. So you've got 3 out of 10. Everything is still normal. But when we pick the second one now, which is this one, which is a factor of 21, everything is going to change, because there is without replacement, which means the total is now out of 9. We have taken one outcome here. So now you are picking out of 9, but the odd, the perfect, these numbers which are factors of 21, they are not going to change. It's only the total which has been affected. So factors of 21, right, guys? We take all the factors of 21. We are talking of 1, 3, and 21. Factors, these numbers that when you divide by 21, divide by that number, it must give you a whole number. Like 21 divided by 21 is 1, 21 divided by 3 is 7, 21 divided by 1 is 21. So you're going to take this 21, 3, and 1, which is their 3 numbers. So they are now 3 out of 9, not out of 10, because it's without. But if it was with replacement, it was going to be 3 out of 10. But without, 1 is no longer there, so it's now out of 9. So that's the concept, guys. So as you can see, let's play around with the numbers. 3 into 3, that is 1, into 9, 3, 3 into 3, 1, 3 into 3, that is 1 here. So you're going to be left with 1 times 1, which is 1 over 10 times 1, which is 10. So that's 1 over 10. And also probability, you can even write it as a decimal fraction. It depends with how you want to express that your solution. All right, on the other part, we are given to solve the inequality. We are given an inequality to solve, which is number 20 there. So that's number 20, A item 1. So this is A item 1. So you're given 2 into x minus 3 is less than 7. So because this number cannot be divided directly, we have to expand brackets. 2 times x, 2x, 2 times minus 3 minus 6 is less than 7, so definitely collect this negative is going to be a plus there. So 2x is 7 plus 6, which is 18. So where am I getting the equal sign? Never make this mistake, guys, in exam, to put equal sign. Always work with less than the sign that you're given. Okay, divide by 2, so x will be less than 13 over 2, which is actually something like 2 into 13, that is 6.5. Yeah, 6.5, or you can write this as 6,5. I don't know how you want to present it, but that is your solution there. Now the question is, write down the largest perfect square that satisfies the inequality. What is the largest perfect square that we are going to have? Okay, we are talking of x, guys. We are talking of x being less than 6,5. So what is the perfect square? That is the question. Okay, the largest one. Okay, what are the values that are less than 6,5? If we are to represent on a number line, it's like this. Maybe this is where we have our 0 here, 1, 2, up to 6. This is our 6 here, all right, and this is our 6,5 here. So we are talking of values here which are less than going this direction. So the first perfect square that we are going to have from near this is your largest perfect square, because you want the largest perfect square, and definitely it will be at 4, because you're going to have 4 here, you're going to have 1 here, and so, but 4 is the one that is going to be the largest on these numbers which are less than 6,5. 4 is the largest, or is the greatest possible value. So your answer there is 4. So x is equal to 4. Not x is less than 4, but x is equal to 4. All right. Then we move on to another part there where we are given, in this case, this is a similarity where we are given, and also similarity, guys. I think we worked with these questions on similar figures, where scale and so forth. So you have to go and cross-check them on separate classes. So there we are given that two similar bottles have heights 8:12, that is 8 centimeters and 12 centimeters. So this is the ratio of sides that you are given, which is a scale factor 8 centimeters as to 12 centimeters. This is your scale factor, which is the ratio of sides. Now the question is asking that the mass of, we are given that the mass of the bottle of height 8 centimeters is 40 grams. So whenever you work with mass, you are under volume. You are under volume. So the question wants you to calculate the mass of a similar bottle that has a height of 12 centimeters. But before we talk about that, this is under volume. Mass, capacity, volume, all those, they are under the volume factor. They use the volume factor, not the scale factor. This is your scale factor. So you have to convert your scale factor to volume factor. Remember, the conversions first, you can maybe just simplify this in a simpler way, which is 8 as to 12. You can divide by 4, which is 2 as to 12 divided by 4, just by 4 by 4. Here you can reduce just like a fraction, so it's going to be 2 as to 3. So this is still our scale factor, because we are just writing it in its simplest form, just in a simpler way, or in a simpler version. Now, what is our volume factor? From scale factor to volume factor, remember, guys, I told you, you raise to the exponent of 3. So 2 to the power of 3 is going to give us 8 as to 3 to the power of 3, which is 27. So this is now your volume factor, the one that you are going to use to calculate the mass of a similar bottle of height 12 centimeters. So you are not going to use 12 centimeters. No, you are going to use the corresponding value of volume factor. So this 8 is the one that corresponded to that 8 that gave us, yes, it came back again to 8, but it's not like this is the 8 that you took here. No, this is the 8 from the volume. Okay, let me adjust this side, guys. I think it's affecting now. Okay, this 8 here is not the one that we are talking of. We are talking of this 8. So according to your volume factor, the volume of 8 corresponds to a mass of what? Of 40 grams. So this is the one that corresponds with 40 grams. What about this one, which has got a volume factor of 27? How is it going to correspond to the other mass? So we want the mass, so you use volume factors like I said. All right, so we need this volume, so it's going to be 27 over 8 times 40. Guys, I told you that whether this is less or it's more, this one does not matter. What you want is the one that you write on top. You want this 27, so it's 27 over 8 times this. So 8 into 40, that is 5. So you're left with 27 times 5, which is going to be 35 there. 23 by 5 times 2, which is 10, plus 3, which is 13, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna give us 135 grams. So that's how these questions might be given, guys, as you can see. And we have got this where we are given the information in this question, guys. If you have to cross-check on the questions that you've been working, it's a repetition again, where they ask you to calculate the area of a triangle of a non, where you are given this information. Does not change. The area of a triangle of a non-right angled triangle is going to be half AB sine theta. All right, so which is half times A times B, which is these two sides which are creating this angle here. So it's 4 and what? 4 and 9. So it's 4 times 9 times sine theta, which is the angle in between, which is 120 degrees. All right. So for sine, it's important to you to know that sine of the obtuse angle is equal to the sine of the acute angle. So this is going to be equal to this sine of what? Of 60 degrees, which is 0.87. So it's going to be half of this, which is 2 times 9, which is 18, times sine 120, which is same as what? As sine 60. So sine 60 is 0.87. Sine is positive for acute and also for obtuse. So guys, you multiply these numbers properly. 18, so you multiply 18 times 87, which is going to give you 1566. But how many decimal places? We've got 2 decimal places, so it's going to be 15.66 square centimeters. All right, I hope we are together here. Then what about the length of AC? Leaving your answer in set form. That is your AC here, leaving your answer in set form. So definitely I have to work something with cosine rule because I'm given 2 sides and an included angle. So remember your cosine rule, that it states that A squared is equal to B squared plus. So you want to calculate AC. So you're going to write it as AC squared is equal to, or you can just write as AC is equal to the square root of, since we know it was AC squared, so the moment you put the square root, it is going to be AC. So AC is equal to square root of B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. So this is just a formula, guys. It's not that you're going to take your B to say this is my B, this, no. Your B and your C, when you write it like this, it means these are the sides which are creating the angle A. So in this case, your B and C are these sides which are creating the angle, which is 4 and 9. Okay, so it's going to be 4 squared plus 9 squared minus 2BC, which is a repetition of these two sides again. 2 times 4 times 9 times cos A, which is the angle created by these two sides. And what is the angle that is created? It's 120 degrees. But this time you must take this with a pinch of salt whenever you work with cos. Why? Because cos obtuse is a negative, this one. If you are talking of the obtuse angle, you're talking of the second quadrant. This quadrant, only sine is positive, cos is negative, tan is negative in the second quadrant. So this is going to be negative cos 60 degrees. So you're going to use cos 60 degrees with a negative. Okay, so AC is going to be the square root of 4 squared. We simplified, it's going to be 16 plus 9 squared, which is 81, minus 2 times, which is 8 times 9, which is 72 there. So it's going to be 72 times, so like I said, cos 120 is same as minus cos 60. So you're going to use minus the value of cos 60 and in this case cos 60 is equal to 0.5. So 0.5 guys is same as half. Okay, so we are going to add this 16 plus this, which is gonna be 7, and this will be 97. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, that's 97. Then minus and minus, that's a plus. So like I was saying, that 0.5 is same as half like this. It means 72 times half, which is half of 72. And what is half of 72? Half of 72 is what? Is 36. So we add these two, which is going to give us 133 if you add properly here. So that's it. That's your AC in said form. So in said form means you can't simplify that. All right, we can't simplify that. We can't simplify further that square root that is in said form. So that's it. Then we have question 22 there, where we are given a consideration where there's a speed time graph that we have an object which is initially at a speed of 12 meters per second here. Then the object accelerates uniformly for 4 seconds. This is up to this velocity here. So actually this velocity here corresponds with what? It corresponds with that. So the question here, okay, there's another part which is later on it decelerated here. So here there's a deceleration of 6 meters per square second, which means, remember, when it is a deceleration, it means acceleration is what? Is negative. So this is negative 6 meters per square second at the end. Okay, we'll talk about this later on. The question is to calculate the acceleration from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 4. Okay, this is from 0 to 4 here. This is where acceleration occurred here. So remember, acceleration, I told you that is the change in velocity over the change in time. So your acceleration is going to be v2 minus v1 over t2 minus t1, the change in velocity. So your velocity, you started at 12, now you are at 30. In this case, what are we going to have is 30 minus what? Minus 12 in this case. So your acceleration is going to be 30 minus 12. Okay, let me just write it here, guys, instead of written here. So it's going to be 30 minus 12 in this case. Okay, then our time changed from 0 to 4 during this time frame. As you can see, this one corresponds to 0, this one 4, so it's 4 minus what? 4 minus 0. So 30 minus 12, guys, this is what? This is 18. So you're going to have 18 over 4. So you can divide by 2, which is 9 over 2, and this is going to be 4,5 or 4.5 meters per square second, or you can write it as 4,5. Okay, so that's how they can ask this question. Then the distance traveled from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 9. Okay, from 0 up to 9 here, this is what you have. Remember, distance is area under the graph. So you can separate into this trapezium and a rectangle, where we know that the area of a trapezium is simply half the sum of what? The parallel sides times the perpendicular height. So you're going to add 12 and 30 there as your parallel sides. So our distance in this case is going to be half of the parallel sides. We said a plus b, which is 12 plus 30 times the height. So the height, definitely, that is the difference between 0 to 4, which is 4. Okay, plus what we have here, we have got a rectangle. So between 4 to 9 there's a difference, 9 minus 4, which is 5. So it's 5 times 30, or 30 times 5. So that's what we have for the rectangle there. So take note, guys, that's what you're going to have. We are starting from 0 to 9, just up to 9, not the other way, just up to 9 there. All right, so working around this, we can have this is going to give us 42. So it's half of 42 times 4 plus this is going to give us 150. So definitely this is going to give us 2, and it's going to be 84. 42 times 2, that's 84 plus 150. So 84 plus 150, which is 234 meters. So that is your distance there. All right, so that's it, guys. Then the other part, which is on C, was to calculate the value of t, which is the total time taken for the whole chain, which is this t here. So this is the concept. Remember, we are given here, it was deceleration, guys, not acceleration. Take note. This was deceleration. But when you are doing calculations, you don't work with the deceleration. You work with the acceleration. That is the one that you work with. All right. So we actually know that our acceleration, we said, is equivalent to the change in velocity over the change in what? Over the change in time, where we've got v2 minus v1. Okay, let me just write it, v2 minus v1 over t2 minus t1. So we are going to take that as an advantage because already the acceleration is what is there, which is -6. So we are going to say our -6 is equivalent to v2 minus v1, which is the velocities now. So v2 is the final from this point up to this point, and at this point the velocity corresponds with what? With the 0, because you are at rest, and at rest your velocity is at 0. So that would be 0 minus v1, where it started from to decelerate. It started from this point to decelerate, that is to decrease. So this point corresponds with what? With 30. So it's going to be 0 minus 30 over T2 minus T1, which is the difference now. So your T2 is the final temperature, which is this T. So it's this T minus T1, which is 9. So by doing this, we have formulated an equation that we can actually use to solve for T, because it's the one that we want to find, this T. So let's solve. Can cross multiply here. So it's negative times T, which is -6t. It's -6 times t, which is -6t. -6 times -9. So it's negative, which is positive. That's going to be 54. Yeah, that's 54. Okay, then 0 minus 30. This one is minus 30. So it's just going to be minus 30 times 1. That's minus 30. So you can transpose. Yes, we can avoid to work with unlike term, with negatives. It's fine. Minus 6t is equal to 54 to this side is going to be minus 54. So we've got minus 30 minus 54. Just ignore this negative, add 30 plus 54, which is what? 84. Then you take the common sign. So you can divide by -6 by -6. So the value of t is going to be 6 into 8, that is 1, remainder 2 into 24, which is 4. So therefore our t is going to be 14 seconds. So that is actually the time there at t. T is representing what? 14, which is the total time that was taken. Or we could have calculated the difference between these two, then we add to 9. Still it's one and the same thing, because we can simply say acceleration -6 is equal to the change in velocity, which we said is the change in velocity is what? It's minus 30, like that, over the change in what? Over the change in time. So you can find the change in time, then we add that change in time, because if you find the change in time, is going to be -6 change in time is equal to minus 30, divide by -6 by -6, like this. So the change in time is going to be equal to 5. So if we have got a change in time of 5 seconds and we are at 9, so we're going to add 9 plus that change, which is 9 plus 5. Still we are going to go to, we're going to get that 14. So it's a matter of play around with the questions, guys, as you can see that part. Okay, anyways, on number 11 we are given to find it's actually a solid of a triangular prism, and you're asked to find the value of x. Yes, so you're given this is 90 degrees here. So as you can see, this is a right angle triangle, guys. Apply your Pythagoras theorem, x squared. So this is paper 1, guys, and paper 1, yeah, paper 1, guys. So which means x squared is going to be from your hypotenuse squared is equal to side squared plus side squared. So it's going to be 6 squared plus x squared. So x squared is equal to 36 plus 48. Okay, so if you add 36 plus 48, this is give us, is it 40? Guys, you see this issue of playing around numbers. 8 squared, this is 64. So if you add properly, it's going to be 100. Then square root both sides, square root both sides. So x is definitely 10. Yes, we know that plus or minus, but this is a side, so it can be that's so x is going to be 10 centimeters. So you have the value of x here, which is 10 centimeters. So it's like this. This is your 10 centimeters, like that. All right, so the question now on B is to calculate the total surface area. So the total surface area, guys, you calculate the area of every shape that you can see here. So as we can see, this triangle here, which is ABF, and this triangle, they are the same. So you calculate the area of this triangle times 2, because that is your total surface area. You add everything. All right, so this is what is going to happen. Let me put it this way. That's B. So our total surface area is going to be, what do we have? We've got area of a triangle. Remember, area of a triangle is half base times perpendicular height. So it's half of 6 times 8, half base times perpendicular height, which is half of 6 times. But we said we've got two triangles. There's this triangle here, which is the same as this triangle. So you multiply by 2, because there are two. Total surface area, you take everything. So your answer here, you're going to multiply it by 2. Okay, we are done. What else do we have? If you are to cross check, there is a rectangle here on the base here, from A to D to C to B to E. This one is a right angled, this one it's a rectangle, this one, where this is 20, this is 6, this is also 6. So you're going to multiply 6 times 20 here on this bottom here. So you've got 6 times what? 6 times 20 there. So we've got a rectangle of 6 times 20. All right, what else do we have? We are going to move on. I want you to see there's another rectangle again here. We've got this rectangle here of 10 versus 20 here, this one on top here, because this is 20, this is also 20, this is 10. Remember, we calculated x, we said this is 10, which means EC is also 10. So it's 10 times 20. There's a rectangle of 10 times 20 there. All right, there's still another one that is remaining. If you saw it properly, there's another one that is remaining here. We have got this one from F to A, from F to A here to D to E and back to F here, of 8 centimeters by 20 centimeters, because this is also 8. So it's 8 times 20, 8 times 20. So there is another one there, which is 8 times 20. I think everything is there. I think we took everything now. So these 2 and these 2 can cancel, because we said area of a triangle times 2, because there are 2. So we can combine 48 plus, this is going to be 120 plus 10 times this, which is 200. This is going to be 160, guys. That's 0 here. And this is 16, which is 160. So you just add everything. I don't know. We're going to have something like 528 square centimeters. Remember, this is area. So just cross check if you're obtaining the same answer. If there is any error, therefore we can work on it to see where it actually happened. 528 or 548. I don't know. Just cross check, guys, if there is anything. But that was the area, the total surface area. That is how you calculate it. That is what is important for this case. All right. Then on 24, we are given to simplify logarithms. Okay, so logarithm is all about your laws. On 24, A item 1, this is log 45. So this one you can just we are subtracting, so you can just divide, because remember our laws, divide the numbers, which is 45 over 5 in base what? In base 3, because the base is the same, which is 3. So this is going to give us log 45 divided by 5, which is log 9 in base 3. But we can't leave our answer like log 9 base 3. We have to simplify further, which is when we are now going to that part where we say let log this be equal to, or you can just say this can be written as log 3 to the exponent of 2 in base 3. So you can drop the exponent, which is 2 log 3 base 3, because we know that log 3 base 3 is equal to what? To 1. So it's 2 times 1, which is 2. So there are so many ways, guys, of simplifying. You have it now as log 9 base 3 after dividing. This is what you obtain. So you can even say let log this be equal to x, where we know that 9 is equal to 3 to the exponent of what? X, from your log form to index form. So you can make these bases to be the same. 3 to the exponent of 2, 3 to the exponent of x. So x is equal to what? X is equal to 2. So if x is equal to 2, therefore the log, so on your answer you don't write x here, you just write 2 on your answer. Don't write anything, just write the answer. All right, Then we have got log 0,2 in base 5. So here there are so many options to answer this one. We can attempt it this way. Now this is item 2, so we can attempt it this way: log 0,2 over log 5. So this is what you can actually do in this case. Since we know that these numbers can be written in the same value, but try by just rewriting 0,2, this one as a fraction can give us 2 over 10, which is 1 over 5 from 2 over 10. So guys, these are some of things that you just need to simplify, and this one is same as 5. So you can write this in terms of 5, because you know from our laws of exponents, 1 over 5 means to the exponent of -1. So that's what you're going to have, and 5 means to the exponent of 1. So you can drop your exponent, which is -1 log 5 over, if you drop this exponent, it's going to be 1 log 5. So that's it guys. Cancel is gonna give us -1. So that's what we have. But this is not the only method guys. There is this change of base whenever you're dividing logarithms. Log of a over log b like this, it is the same as log a in base b, provided that these bases are the same, just like that. So here we are in base 10, so it means we can rewrite log 0,2 over log 5 like this, in this format, which is log 0,2 in base of what? In base of 5. This is one and the same thing. So once you can write it like this, it means you are now back to what you are used to, because we are all used to calculate something of this form, no matter how difficult that is. A decimal is a fraction, but most of us, we are used to this because we know that we can just simply say let this be equal to x. But before we convert to exponent form, or you can just put it to exponent form, 0,2 is equal to 5 to the exponent of what? Of x. But 0,2 as a fraction, we said is 1 over 5, which is equal to 5 to the exponent of x. All right. So 1 over 5 is same as 5 to the exponent of -1, which is equal to 5 to the exponent of x. So as you can see, the bases are the same, the powers are the same. So x is going to give us -1. But our answer for everything, this part that we are given, is just -1. As we say, it's just one and the same thing. So this law, I'm urging you to know that log 9 over log 3 means the same thing as log 9 in base 3. This means one and the same thing. So you can choose to work it like this, or you can choose to work it like this. So same answer there. All right, anyways, that's it. Express as a logarithm of a single number. So what do we have here guys? We've got numbers which are multiplying the log, so you have to raise these to be exponents. Remember that 3 is going to be to the exponent there, so it's 2 to the exponent of 3, plus half is also multiplying. We raise this to be an exponent, which is 81 to the exponent of a half. All right, 2 to the exponent of 3, yes, we can simplify, which is 8, plus what does to the exponent of a half means? Remember from your laws of exponents, 81 to the exponent of half means the square root of 81, and this is going to give us plus or minus 9, but log cannot be a negative, so it's going to be log 9. The bases are the same. Why are we saying that? Because we're in base 10, so you can simply multiply the numbers 9 and what? 9 and 8. So if we multiply these two, it is going to give us log 72. So that's it, just like that. Okay, so guys, as you can see, these are some of the questions which are very, very important for you to note or to understand, because they keep on repeating these types of questions like that. They keep on repeating this question. Okay, it is given, we are given that consideration. This is, guys, there's a lot of things. Okay, let me just write it so that it can be easy and clear. Or let me just expand, since we want to calculate the values of p, because this is a lot, guys. I'm just going to expand as we're answering. We want to calculate the value of p, q, and r. So this is what you're going to do. You expand this one by 3 times p, 3 times everything, you multiply by 3. Okay, so let's multiply together. 3 times p which is 3p here. 3 times minus 1 is going to be minus 3. And this one, 3 times 0 here, which is going to give us a 0. We also have 4 here, so it's 3 and 4. 3 times 4 there, which is 12. Alright, so this is what you're going to have. We move on to minus. So this one, we can just write it as it is. So far, there's nothing that we can do. So just rewrite that bracket as it was. There's nothing that is going to change. We'll talk about it later on. But here there's a scalar also, which is half. So it's half times 16. Half of 16, it's 8. All right. Then we move on to half of 8. What is half of 8? Half of 8 is 4. All right. Then we've got half of 4. What is half of 4? It's 2. All right. Then we move on to minus 12. Half of minus 12, which is minus 6, like that. So now we can combine these two, add. That's 13 minus 7. 3p minus 7. This is not going to change. So it's 3p minus 7. There's nothing that we can do. Okay. Minus 3 minus q. So nothing also. There's nothing that we can do also. Just combine like that. Then we've got 0 minus minus 2. So these ones can be combined because it's now 0 plus 2 because it's minus minus, which is now 2. Okay, we move on to 12 minus 2r. So this one, you can't combine it again. So you just leave it like that, which is equal to 8, 4, 2 minus 6. So what it simply means is that these corresponding elements, they are equal. As you can see, this also proves that what we are saying is true, because these are constants, and truly you can say this is 2, this is 2. So it simply means also 3p minus 7 is equal to 8. So we can formulate an equation. 3p minus 7 is equal to 8. So definitely transpose is going to be a plus there. 8 plus 7, guys, that's 15. Divide by 3 by 3. So p is equal to 5. Okay, we are done with this one. We move on to q. This is equal to positive 4 here. Minus 3 minus q is equal to 4. Corresponding elements. So you want to calculate q. So transpose q here, then 4 here. So it's going to be minus 3 minus 4 is equal to q. So minus 7 is equal to q. Here you just add, then take the common sign. So that's it. We move on to r. Corresponding term, this one and this one, they are equal. 12 minus 2r is equal to minus 6. So you can take this to avoid negative numbers. Take this, is going to be 12 plus 6, which is equal to 2r to this one is going to be positive because it was minus. So this is going to give us 18. And this one of 2r, to give us 2r there. Okay, so you can divide by 2r, which is going to give us what? 9. So your r is going to be 9. So guys, as you can see, this one. So now you can just have it. So your p, we obtained our p, which was 5, our q, which was minus 7, and our r, which was 9. So these are the values that you have to write them properly here. So that is what is important. So actually, that is what we had, guys. I didn't want to, okay, it didn't affect, I didn't want this us to affect the other question which is following here. So in this question, I don't know how am I going to actually explain it, because we are given that there are triangles here that we can see A, B, C, and this one, and this one. Then we are told that ABC is the image of A1, B1, C1 by a single transformation that we do not know. Then we need to describe that transformation. So take note, we are mapping ABC to A1, B1, C1, which is this one. This is your ABC. This is your, so these are congruent figures. As you can see, there are isometries. So which means we are thinking of rotation, we are thinking of reflection, we are thinking of translation. So how do we see that this is a translation, or it's a rotation, or it's a reflection? We have to join our corresponding points. Remember, guys, I told you about this issue where you have to join corresponding points, A to A1, B to B1. So I want you to take note what is happening between B and B1, C and C1. They are in the same line. They are not like crossing each other. No, they are not crossing each other. They are in the same line. So we want to see, because here we are obtaining parallel lines. As we can see, these are parallel lines, but the idea is now, are they equal or not? Are they equal or not? Because we have two transformations which creates, or which gives us two lines which are parallel: translation and reflection. These are the ones which gives us lines which are parallel. But translation, it gives us parallel lines of equal length. Reflection, they are not of equal length. So if you are to measure, if you are to take your divider A to A1, in this case you measure B to B1, C to C1, you're going to see that these, they are equal. That is to mean that that one was a translation. So this one was actually a translation. So it is a translation. These ones, they are equal. So you now describe it is a translation. Okay, then what do we need? We need the translation vector. So this concept of object image, if you don't understand it, please make sure that you watch the video on transformation. Just type transformation at Maison African Motifs. You'll see the topic on transformation. Okay, so translation vector, remember, it's image minus object. So you just take any point on the image, you subtract to its corresponding point on the object. So in this case, I'm going to choose A1. So A1 is my image, which is it corresponds, it's in between 4 and 6, remember. So this is 5 minus 4. So we are going to take as a vector 5 minus 4 x, y. You just take the point, okay, minus the point A, which is 2, 2. So the point A is 2, 2. Just like that. All right. So if we are to simplify this, it is going to give us 3, 5 minus 2, which is 3, minus 4, minus 2, which is minus 6. Like that. All right. So you are going to prove this. You can choose another one, translation vector. You can choose B1 versus B. So you must obtain the same answer, B1 minus B, as long it's image minus object. You can choose to use C1 and C. So you write the point C1, just like what you did, minus C. You must obtain the same answer. So I want you to prove with other points there and see if you obtain. If you are not obtaining the same answer, therefore what we are saying is wrong, because it's supposed to give us the same answer if truly it is a translation under the given vector. So now, because of the presentation, you see this thing will be like, it's because of paper and everything that is we are using there. But anyways, that is what we have. So therefore our translation vector here, we said it's 3 minus 6. All right, that is what we had in this case. Then on the other part, we are being given that triangle ABC is mapped onto triangle A2B2 by a reflection. Find the equation of the axis of reflection. Okay, we are told that this one from A to B is actually what? A reflection. This one they told us. All right, let me put it this way. They are saying ABC. This is our ABC onto this. It's a reflection. Truly, if we are to join these corresponding points, we are going to see, we are going to formulate parallel lines. That is what it means. From A, just join. Okay, because this one is clear, so that it can click here, but you are supposed to use broken lines. Okay, you join C to C1, A to A1, and so forth. So just join those points like that. So now, if we are to join, we are going to see, yes, we are producing parallel lines. As we can see, these are parallel lines and they are of an equal length. Just cross it. Some you don't even need to measure, just look from C to C2, and between just the difference itself, it tells you that these are not equal. So the only transformation with the parallel lines of an equal length is reflection. That is the only transformation that does what has just happened here. So which means they are correct to say this is a reflection. But how do you find the equation of the mirror line? So here, because of the instruments that I'm having that are not actually clear enough, but you are supposed to bisect this line. All right, remember I told you how to bisect. So you bisect any one of these lines, either C to C1 or A to A1. But by even mere looking by sight, you are going to see the line is going to pass through the x of symmetry. This one is going to divide your graph into two equal parts. So some by mere looking, you can actually see that this is one that is happening. So it is going to divide your graph into two equal parts. This is what is going to happen here. So let me just put it this way, because it's a mirror line and it's supposed to divide into two equal parts. So you are going to divide, but like I'm saying, that you can even see it clearly here, that the point in between, this is the point in between here, the point in between, the point in between. So this line with the line that divides your graph into two equal parts with a negative gradient, it's called, this is the line of what? Y is equal to minus x. You're supposed to know these lines. If it has got a positive gradient like this, it's y is equal to x. This one, it has a negative gradient, so it's y is equal to minus x. All right. Then another part, I think that's it. Then they are now asking us to give the matrix that represents this reflection. What is the matrix for reflection in the line y is equal to minus x? Guys, we talked about these matrices for reflection. If you watch those videos, the matrix for reflection, we said it gives us 0, minus 1, 1, 0. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's it, because you have got your, remember here, where you have got 1, 1, minus 1, and minus 1. So this point, if you reflect in this line here, so it's going to be, this point is going to reflect to this point, which is 0, minus 1. Then this point reflects here, so it's minus 1, 0, not 1, 0, but it's going to be minus 1, 0. Yeah, like that. So this is for the line y is equal to minus x. That is the matrix. So actually, I encourage you guys to watch those videos on transformation. Just know the basic of what is happening, so that you'll be able to understand what's happening, because this is just an application. So that's what we get, guys, from this question paper. If there is any part that maybe we made some errors and mistakes, let me know on the comment section, so that we can work for a better outcome for the next coming papers. So that's it, guys, till we meet again.